Welcome everyone to SimpleFi's webinar on SAP Analytics Cloud. We'll give people just one more minute to join and then we'll get started. All right, thank you everyone for joining. My name is John Essick from SimpleFi Solutions. I'll be taking you through this demo today of SAP Analytics Cloud. And we'll be focusing on dashboarding and reporting capabilities within the tool. We're going to keep it relatively short, and we're skipping PowerPoint altogether. So first off, I'll just start by giving you a quick introduction of the tool. So SAP Analytics Cloud is a SaaS-based solution built from the ground up. At SimpleFi, we've been working with this tool set. We've been an early adopter for the past 5 or so years. Within the U.S., we have the largest planning implementation to date, live and referenceable. And I've worked with a lot of different applications within this tool set. So you're looking at the launch page here, which is specific to my user. You see different tiles, stories that the launch page links into that we could pin to our own dashboard. If I click on the menu bar here, I'll just use this to kind of explain the capabilities of the tool at a high level before we get into building this dashboard example. So I'm on my own home page here. Looking at Create, this is where we can use to launch into building stories. The same stories we build here within Analytics Cloud are utilized by SAP's Digital Boardroom. We can create and build new models based off of any structured data sets. So that could be SAP data, that could be non-SAP data. We can also pull in unstructured data within this system. SAP Analytics Cloud is a tool that has multiple purposes, right? You can use it for analytics, you can use it for dashboarding, you can use it for planning, as well as predictive. So what SAP has really done is built one tool to satisfy all 3 of these different needs. So rather than having different sets of licensing, different sets of infrastructure for a planning tool and analytics or predictive, and trying to get them all to talk to each other, SAP recognizes that it really makes sense to have one integrated platform for all these things. So again, you can create your models within here. You can also create your planning functions. SAP Analytics Cloud supports data actions, so batch jobs. You can use the tool to manage your data, schedule loads from non-SAP systems, have real-time data coming in from SAP systems. If we click on Browse, this is kind of just a different view of the same thing. So after you create your stories, all your essentially held and controlled reports, you can access from this pane. Calendars, you can set and manage events within the tool set and use it to blast automated emails, reminders for collaboration. So it's a nice functionality within the tool. The tool is also secured like any other enterprise-ready analytics and planning solution set, so you can secure based off of different organizational structures, based off of cost center, read and write access, so you can get very, very specific within here. Also, from an auditability perspective, you can track exactly what changes were made within the system, different activities, and this solution set all does sit on top of HANA. Deployment, so this is more technical as well as system and connection. So right before I jump into the dashboard, I want to just kind of explain a couple things from a modeling perspective. If I click on models here, one of the big value points with Analytics Cloud is the underlying not only integration with SAP, but with non-SAP systems, right? So if you're on SAP ERP today, if you're leveraging BW, if you're leveraging BPC, you can piggyback on that investment that you've already made and hook up Analytics Cloud directly within the system. So if you go to create, a new model, you can click on Use a Data Source. Again, you can hook right into BPC. So if you want to extend Analytics Cloud planning capabilities from BPC, you can do that, and it integrates right back with your consolidations tool. If you've invested in BW platform, you can hook BPC right into Bex queries, so you can leverage that investment that you've already made and start building dashboards from there. You can hook into S4, you can hook into Salesforce, other non-SAP systems, Concur, etc. So again, this is SAP Analytics Cloud is really SAP's go-forward strategic solution for analytics as well as for planning and predictive. They're investing a lot. They've been investing a lot. It's an enterprise-ready tool. They have literally thousands of developers working on this tool set. Every 2 weeks, they're releasing new updates with new content and new development. It's pretty cool stuff. They have teams of developers working in Vancouver, working overseas. So anyway, so let's get into creating the dashboard. So I can go and actually first here, I'll just show you what the end output is, because I think that'll be helpful to kind of just understand where it is, what we're driving to. So this is, a simple dashboard example, and just want to show you how you can, kind of quickly as you get your data in here, you connect to your models. You could set this up on a BPC model or BW model, within an hour, and start playing with your data. If you get this downloaded, SAP also offers, trial licenses. You could, purchase a few licenses and have this, kind of start playing with this sooner than later. So anyway, so once you hook up to your data set, you can create, start modeling, creating these dashboards, creating these reports. So this is an example of a quick P&L by region that we're going to create. And then the second tab within this dashboard just shows some of the different visualizations. So it's 10 minutes past the hour here. We'll definitely be able to create this and drill into this and create this in 10 minutes or less. Once we're done with that, I'll show you another example of if you're going to invest a little bit more time into building these dashboards, what this output can look like as well. So I am going to go and create a story. And again, this is going to be our output, looking at region and product profitability information, as well as creating a quick P&L. So I'm going to create a story, and we're just going to start this from scratch, and I'll show you how to build this up. So first of all, we're going to start by creating that regional P&L. So I'm going to add a grid page here. I also had options to, add a chart, add a responsive page, which hooks right into, mobile capabilities. So this is mobile ready. I'm starting with just a simple grid page. I'm going to insert my grid here. I'm going to pick my model. In this world, models are cheap, right? So as opposed to, for SAP, existing SAP users, BW, BPC, etc., models are really costly. With an Analytics Cloud, they're really scalable. You can stand them up really quick, make changes to them, so we can have a lot of different models, right? So I'm going to click on this example data set we have for the demo. I'm going to pull the data in to our grid, and we can see it just automatically brings in our accounts within the rows, our version, within the column. So we're looking at actual versus our forecast data. And then you see on the right-hand side, we have our report designer. So same thing, shows you what our different default views are for account conversion. We can go ahead and add time into this. So if we want to look at, for example, actual versus forecast for 2017, we select time, add that to the report, and then we just filter that based off our 2017 selection. So that'll go ahead, and as I hit OK, this will refresh immediately, pull the updated numbers into the report. So we're looking at a variance report for actual versus forecast. We're going to do a quick analysis. There we go. We're going to do a quick analysis just to look at, understand, how we could create a variance report, and then we'll turn this into a P&L by region at the end here. First, we're going to go and just apply some default formatting so that this is in more of a financial view, so that we can see our sales and then cost of sales and then profitability information, followed by our KPIs for gross margin, for example. So if I scroll down, SAP Analytics Cloud comes with these pre-canned templates within the solution, so I can click this report styling template, and it applies some basic formatting here. So now we have actual versus forecast. If we want to add a variance column, we just simply highlight forecast and hit add new column. And then this is really kind of like an Excel grid, right? So we can type in a name for our variance column, and then we can type in a formula. So we can say we want to take B2 minus C2, and it will intelligently just add that variance into the report for us. And that's dynamic. So then as we go and we click down and drill into operating income, we can look at gross margin, we can drill further into that to see sales and profitability information, and slice and dice this however we want to see it. We're looking at 2017 data, actual versus forecast with the variance. This is all drillable, so we can drill into 2017. We can see our individual quarters. We could drill into that and see our months. Or again, we could kind of pivot and look at actuals by organization, which is the final report that we really wanted to build here. So I can take time out of the columns. Notice we already applied that filter to 2017. That filter is going to remain within the report. I'm going to add our organization, which shows our regions, into our columns. I'm going to drill on that. And this shows us a consolidating report, regional for North America, South America. We could continue to drill into this. And at this point, we can go ahead and make some finishing touches on the report. We can rename it P&L by region. And we can exit designer mode, and we've created our first report within the tool. So that's one way to create a report. Again, we can kind of insert one of these tabs within our stories. We can have multiple tabs on here. We can also start by just kind of exploring the data, and that's what we'll do as we create some quick graphs within this tool set. So SAP Analytics Cloud automatically kind of gives you this data exploration view. So we can look at our different accounts or different measures. We can select net income, for example. And if we want to look at product profitability, we can add that as another dimension within our data set. So we select products. We can highlight that, and what SAP Analytics Cloud will do is it will automatically start to anticipate what it is that we want to see down below. So we selected products. We can cherry pick a few specific products that we want to focus on, first person star, role game, sports, for example. Our chart goes ahead and updates down here automatically. So we're looking at our profitability by product for actual within 2017. We can also then click on organization and look at a regional split for that. So same thing, we could select North America, South America, Asia, Europe, and down below our charts are going to automatically update. So it just starts, again, kind of building this and anticipating what we might want to see. So if we click on look at first person star, we can highlight over these charts, and these are all interactive. So you can kind of explore and play around with, hey, what are the different charts we can look at. There's a whole host of pre-canned charts within here. We can look at, for example, correlation, a cluster bubble chart, which again, this is interactive. So this shows us that from a profitability perspective by region and by product, first person star North America is our #1 region and product, right? And you can kind of highlight over this. And again, this is interactive. So I'm looking at a cluster bubble chart. I can change this. I can go through these selections, kind of, again, play around with this. Change and make this selection here. I can't pronounce that, so I won't say it. So this just gives me a different view, a stacked bar chart, essentially, by product, by region. And again, we can change these chart selections. Whenever we're at a point, if we want to save a snapshot of this and add it to a dashboard or a Canvas page, we can do that. So we do that simply by copying. So we can copy to a new Canvas page. And then we can add different charts and visualizations together within this same report. So we've got this first report, which shows us net income by organization as well as product. We can insert another chart in here, and here maybe we want to focus on gross profitability information. So again, we've got the same report builder over here. We can search for gross margin by just typing that in. Select gross margin here, and again, if we want to analyze this, by product profitability, by customer, by whatever you want to look at, you can just add a dimension here. So I'm going to add product, make this selection, and then I can either come within here and filter like I showed you earlier, or I could just highlight on the chart, and the charts are all drillable too. So I can click drill down. I already have product. I have accounts in here. I could drill into gross margin. I'm going to go ahead and drill into product to see our gross margin profitability by product. And I'm looking at this, and I might be interested in, hey, like for first person star, what are the number of products, what video games, whatever it is, underneath each one of these individual product groups. So we can create different calculations and counts utilizing the system. So if we want to create this, we can go to add measure and create a count for the underlying products that are driving the profitability for first person star, role game, etc. So we create that calculation. We could say this is product count. And we'll say we want to use the count operation, and we want to count the underlying products. And we're going to do that based off of gross margin. So we add that into our schedule, and we might want to look at this chart just a little different. So we can look at a combination column and line chart. And we'll take product count and drag that down to the line axis. And there's a lot of blue on this dashboard, so maybe we want to change the color and just change it up a little bit, make it look a little prettier. So here we create a quick, 2 quick visualizations within a few minutes. Again, these are all interactive. We could add region as a filter so that people can change the selections when they view this on a dashboard. It's mobile ready, so you can look at this on your iPad, right? And again, these charts are all interactive. So not only can I highlight over and drill into things, but also SAP Analytics Cloud has the ability to provide you smart insights. So I can click on Add Smart Insights, and what the tool set is actually doing is it's going and analyzing the underlying data, and based off of what you're looking at, trying to provide you some additional information. There's no configuration, no coding that goes into this. This is really a pretty cool functionality. So what it's saying is, hey, based off of this data set that we're looking at, the gross margin for our leading product for first person stars, our top contributor, 98% above the average from a profitability perspective, and the main organization driving this was the US. So, we could continue drill into first person, for example, look at this specifically, same thing if we want to look at insights related directly to first person, it's drilling in and helping us tell that story further. and showing us, hey, yeah, just like we saw in the Smart Insight, this is the region driving our profitability information, but here's the overall mix, right? And then we can actually add that as a chart to our dashboard. All right. So there we have it. I think in 11 minutes, we were able to create a quick, relatively good-looking report, an example dashboard. To finish this off, we can give this page names. We can save this out to our shared folder so that it's accessible to other users. We can apply story filters to make it even a little bit more dynamic so that you can use this for month-over-month reporting. But pretty simple to get up and running within this tool. You invest a little bit more time in building out these dashboards. Can show you, you can really get fancy with these. So this is an example of analytics dashboard combined with some of the planning, scenario analysis capabilities within the tool that's been built out into a demo set by SAP, right? So again, you can combine these reports together with geographical representations as well as another example we didn't go through. You can pull in individual, text representations of specific data and get pretty picky about how you want to look at these dashboards. And again, this incorporates right back into your planning application, so you can do strategic modeling within this tool. You can do your predictive forecasting within this tool, same tool set that you're using for the dashboard. And actually, another one of our webinars coming up in the next few months is focused just on that. So we're going to cover off the predictive functionality within the tool. But again, wanted to keep this webinar relatively short today, not bore you with PowerPoints. Hopefully this was educational. If you have questions, please feel to reach out to us. I'll pause here for a couple seconds to see if anyone on the phone has questions. We're happy to answer if possible. Otherwise, we'll give you back the next 7 minutes of your time if not. Okay, so one question here is, see percent calculations in the account hierarchy, is the source coming from BPC or structure built within SAC? So within this example, that calculation is built directly in SAC. So SAC has two different vehicles to build functions. Similar to BPC, it has dimension formulas, so you can take gross profit and take your profitability or your sales and divide out and calculate your profitability ratios right in this tool. You can piggyback based off the work that some of the work and things that you've done in BPC. Or the other vehicle for the calculation is advanced formulas. So the functions that are available within there are more akin to BPC script logic, right? So that it's from a planning function or a complex analytics or calculations that you want to run in batch job, you can run it there. But yeah, there's the runtime KPI calculation capability within this tool that you can set across the whole model, or you can add KPIs into the individual reports. Okay. One other question. So, if you're an existing BPC, or for that matter, existing BW shop where you have quite a bit of investment, as far as how long does it take to stand up a model within SAC? SAP has invested quite a bit to make this really highly integrated. So if you take SAC Analytics Cloud, there are a couple prerequisites, right? So if you're interested in exploring this, you could get a trial license with SAP, or you could even just buy a small block of licenses, right? This tool isn't, from a price perspective, like super prohibitive, right? You could start small and start getting comfortable with the tool. So once you have access to SAP Analytics Cloud, to connect it to your underlying BPC and your underlying BW environments, you have to install the cloud connector, and all that does is it hooks up and really allows SAP Analytics Cloud to talk to your BW and your BPC servers. So it's essentially just a service that runs either on a server, essentially, that handles the authentication between the two systems. So once you install that, which that takes a couple hours to install, we've installed that at in multiple instances. Something we're happy to help, not a big investment. And once you install that, then you can literally connect to your BPC model and create, to BPC specifically, you can create a model in SAC in a couple hours. Occasionally there are differences between SAC and BPC, so you might have to change, make an adjustment to a setting or something, but it pulls in pretty quick. And then same concept from a BW perspective, right? If you have BEX queries where you're helping to kind of model the data, you can hook into those underlying BEX queries and create a model based off of that. Then I'll include the hierarchies and everything. So neither one is a huge investment in time. It can kind of get you off the ground running, start getting understanding of how you could utilize this tool. As opposed to just downloading and playing, I would try to get something in mind from a business perspective. What are some getting a better understanding of the tool? What are some maybe pain points with the solution from an analytics perspective, dashboarding, planning what's in the field that maybe wasn't a good fit for BPC, might be a better fit for a solution like this. What are some of those maybe high value areas that you could explore and look at building a use case to? That's where more time would be invested, is really understanding the best potential first application. But this is where SAP is going. Again, from analytics, from planning perspective, this is where all their investment is going, as well as predictive. Better if I were on the client side, better start looking at some of these small applications, getting comfortable. Probably sooner than later, right? If you're investigating or aren't far along the road with Bob J and Lumira, but you're investigating analytics, this is probably the right tool set to start with. Okay. All right. Let me just double check on more other questions, and we'll go ahead and. Oh, this question's pain. It's scrunched, so it's hard to read. Okay. Is there real time in SAC from BW and from BPC? So from BW, there is real time reporting supported. From BPC, there is real-time write-back supported, but the reporting is in batch mode, so you can schedule those updates. So the real-time write-back really applies to planning capabilities. And yes, you can use standard BW hierarchies. And then this other question is the same question we had earlier. Yes, if you're running a not HANA database, you can connect to that as well. As far as connecting to S4 or to ECC, what I would recommend is using BW and or BPC or another tool to help you with the modeling. So that the reason that I'm saying that is if you want to utilize SAP Analytics Cloud as your modeling tool, you can do that. You can create joins of data. You can adjust hierarchies. But really, S4 and ERP are transactional systems. So as you load your data into SAP Analytics Cloud, if you're pulling from those systems and kind of cherry picking individual sets of data, to me, that makes sense, right? If you're trying to produce this really specific report and you want real-time reporting on that, then evaluate hooking directly into there. But if you're looking to build out an analytics application or model, having that infrastructure in BW or BPC provides the data in a format where you really have the model and hierarchies available for consumption within BPC in a targeted, within SAC, within a targeted manner. So I would still, yes, you can hook indirectly for ERP to S4 for, in my opinion, for really more targeted reports. But I would still recommend utilizing BW or BPC to help you simplify the modeling and the data integration that you're going to get out of the source system so that's ready for consumption. Preset models. SAC Analytics Cloud comes with a bunch of pre-canned business content within the solution set, and that's something when you download, when you get hooked up with Analytics Cloud, you can basically just enable the business content and play around with it. So, show you here. So this is essentially a content library of all that business content. So there's pre-canned functionality for hooking into S4 for manufacturing, procurement, professional service reporting, retail reporting, all these different industry-specific solutions, as well as financial reporting and applications. It's important to note that this business content can provide you an accelerator and examples of how you can utilize this tool to get the best value out of this solution set. You might not necessarily utilize this 100%, right? But especially for smaller companies that just want to get some value right away out of the solution set, don't have really complex requirements, want to get something implemented in a week or two to provide some reporting. If you can give us the data with this chart of accounts, it can plug into this business content and accelerators, as well as planning accelerators that are available out here, for HR planning, for example. And you can utilize this functionality out of the box. So again, for large enterprise companies, I would recommend looking at this more to understand, how you can go about building the functionality. For smaller enterprise companies where, hey, I just want to plug in and I want to look at doing HR planning and I can conform to the chart of accounts in here, then you can kind of use this stuff more out of the box. Does security sit in SAC or in the source BW, BPC? Security is managed all within SAC. Okay, all right, a lot of good questions. Thank you all for attending, and hope to catch you on our next webinar. We'll go ahead and wrap up now. We will be periodically posting these webinars onto YouTube. If you want to see a replay, you can visit our YouTube channel. So thanks again for attending, and we'll see you next time, hopefully.